I would like to now invite Professor Satish Agnihotri. He's an emeritus fellow from Sitara IIT Bombay. Professor Agnihotri has been a career bureaucrat and has served the government of India and state government of Odisha in several capacities. Under his initiative, the government of Odisha had launched a campaign in November 1998 to eliminate severe malnutrition among children. Later, he initiated the adoption of the positive deviance approach for tackling child malnutrition. His commitment lies in the area of rapid reduction of child malnutrition, advocacy based on evidence, promote cross-sector collaboration, renewable energy and energy policy, gender, rural development and technology scale-up, use of mapping techniques in social sector planning and public policy, his research on declining sex ratios in India. He will now present on convergence in child nutrition through Manrega. Over to you, Professor Agnihotri, sir.
Let me set the context, because I think the audience here does not need to be convinced about the utility of the Nutri-Garden. So I'm trying to converge, or I'm trying to link 2 or 3 different strands just to show the synergy, and that also will explain why this particular workshop. Now, all of us know that malnutrition is a malnutrition among children and also among adolescent girls and mothers is a big problem facing our country, and it's a countrywide phenomena. So some states it might be relatively less and some states it might be relatively more, but it's there countrywide. So this is one cause of worry. NFHS 4 data has very clearly shown that the dietary diversity is severely restricted among the affected population. And this is something which I think Nirmala Madam also brought out, and it is seen in the field that the dietary diversity is severely limited. The NFHS 4 evidence also shows that dietary adequacy and dietary diversity are 2 important components. So just adequacy will not give you the nutrition. Dietary diversity is equally crucial. When we come to dietary diversity, the data also shows that children's nutritional status shows a sharp dip from the age of 7 months to the age of 18 months. And this is something which Professor Shanti Ghosh had been saying since 80s. But now there's a very clear evidence which shows that. Now, children who may have access to non-vegetarian food, let us say egg or fish, etc., for them, the effect is not so strong. But what do you do when it comes to a vegetarian population? And in the vegetarian population, for ensuring dietary diversity around the year, Nutri-Garden is the key. Now you may say, "Ye sab pata to hai. What's new in it?" There are 2 new factors which have become more important. One is post-pandemic, we are also going to see an economic downturn. And that economic downturn means that in our food basket, we are not going to give diversity the priority. It is the adequacy which is going to get the priority. So this is one problem. Nutri-Garden can solve that, because Nutri-Garden round the year gives you something or the other, either in terms of vegetable, fruit, seed, or whatever you have. But then, where are the resources going to come for this Nutri-Garden? A NGO can do, let us say, X number of Nutri-Gardens. CSR support comes in, you can do scale it up to a particular extent. But when you are looking in terms of large countrywide intervention, I think you need to have intervention from a program like NREGA. As the opening presentation showed you, that on and off different states have taken steps. But those steps also have been in the context of midday meals, school garden, in some places, yes, the Anganwadi center. But systematically, we have not jacked it up. And this is where there was some kind of advocacy done with various state governments and more importantly, the central government. And I'm happy that on 4th May, MORD has come out with the circular. I think a copy of it is also there on CFNS website, which can be accessed. I think this marks a very, very important milestone, because we can now access the wage component of the Nutri-Garden through NREGA. And therefore, it becomes a force multiplier. And I'll urge all the NGOs in their own respective areas to also persuade the Gram Panchayats, saying that since NREGA money is coming as a support, can we combine the 14 Finance Commission grant and other sources? It can be District Mineral Fund, it can be CSR fund. Let us combine it and saturate it. There is one more reason why the NREGA support matters. And you would see that the money typically in kitchen garden or Nutri-Garden, one would say, and I would also emphasize that when you are talking in terms of Nutri-Garden, let us also talk in terms of chemical-free Nutri-Garden. There, the wage work is mainly done by the mother. So if the wages go to the mother, let us say it's a 40% days are required to look after that particular community garden over a period of 1 year, then you are looking at 7,000 to 8,000 rupees going in the purse of that mother. And believe me, that money going in the hands of the mother is likely to be spent on the family nutrition and education work rather than tobacco or alcohol, with all due respect to men. So that is the second advantage that we are seeing. The third interesting evidence also comes from NFHS. If you look at the NFHS data by wealth quintiles, 5 quintile NFHS ने दिए हैं, poorest, poor, middle, then middle income, and then rich. You will notice that the poor and the middle group hang together when it comes to nutrition status. The poorest and poor gap is quite a lot. What is the implication? That by just giving the nudge to the household for moving from the poorest to poor category also brings a huge improvement in the nutrition status of the children. So therefore, NREGA support does 3 things. It supports on a massive scale a Nutri-Garden movement. So funds doesn't remain an excuse, number 1. Number 2, it brings in livelihood of the woman. 3, by nudging the family or by helping the family to some extent to move away from the poorest status to a better status, it also ensures that the nutritional status improves. My final point is, this is also an opportunity for the return migrants. And this is something which my colleague, Professor Narendra Shah, will talk about. What he has in his mind is whether the rural youth or the return migrants or people in that area can actually take it up in an entrepreneurship mode. So whether 1,000 square feet or 2,000 square feet or a 5,000 square feet plot, then becomes a Nutri-Garden, which gives nutrition round the year and has a local market. And it goes into the entrepreneurship mode. So there are different ways of looking at it. So I would urge that we have now got an opportunity of a scaled up support for Nutri-Garden throughout the country, courtesy NREGA. So MORD's initiative has to be praised. In fact, when I told MORD Joint Secretary, I said, आपके लिए appreciation nutrition sector से आएगा. I mean, yes, NREGA will get its own praise for employment, right? But the appreciation will come from the nutrition sector. So this is an opportunity. And I will also request NGOs which are working in the field and who have a rapport with the local media, and local media, particularly the vernacular media. I think this thing should be put in the print media in a big way, so that at any point in time, if a situation arises where people will say कि हमें पता नहीं था, resource है नहीं कहाँ है, that excuse should be taken away. So I think Nutri-Garden also serves in this particular manner, that in the economic downturn, it will become an important, though a small livelihood support. I think if we take these things into account, then we see the whole exercise in a larger perspective. And I must appreciate the initiatives taken by the MORD. And of course, earlier government of Orissa had also done it. But I must say that originally this idea, and credit must be given where it is due, was in West Bengal, where way back, I think about 5 years back, I remember when I was NREGA Award Committee Chairman, West Bengal had come out with this very clearly. And the Bendu, who was the Commissioner NREGA at that time, did pride himself in highlighting this, that they had said there will be support to households where there are malnourished children. So I think let us bring this synergy together and ensure that this then becomes a handy tool for us in tackling the malnutrition among children, nursing and pregnant mothers, and of course the adolescent population. So I'll stop at that, and we can go to the technical session. I wanted to set this particular context, and I also wanted to congratulate Ekjut for the effort they are doing. I think the need of the hour is to scale it up in a massive way throughout the country. Thank you.